Did you know that the leading cause of death in the United States is cardiovascular disease? There are several things that are causing these problems, and some of the statistics are alarming. Check out these statistics, okay? One in every five deaths is from heart disease, and it costs nearly $240 billion a year. About 5% of people aged 20 or older have coronary artery disease, okay? 805,000 people have a heart attack each year, and one person dies every 33 seconds in the US from cardiovascular disease. That's how important it is to take care of your heart health. And what we're going to talk about today is not only how fascinating your heart is, but we're going to go through three incredible techniques to tap into what's called your heart intelligence or your heart IQ, courtesy of the Heart Math Institute. And we're going to teach you basically how to leverage the intelligence in your heart, because a heart has nearly 40,000 neurons, which are more than the subcortical centers in many parts of the brain. And did you know that a fetus, it actually will have a heartbeat before any type of brain function, okay? And so many of us tend to lead with our brain throughout our days, but what if we could actually slow down and lead with our heart? If you're new to this channel, I am an integrative medicine practitioner and naturopath trained in several different disciplines, including functional medicine, functional breathing, and brain health training, as well as techniques for tapping into your heart intelligence. Okay, so what you can expect to get out of this is three practice trainings that we're going to go through together, and a couple of bonus activities, one of which will help with focus, because nowadays with the information economy, focus is definitely a commodity because we are so distracted all the time. So check out this bonus practice in this guide that I'm going to share with you below as we learn how to leverage and enhance your heart IQ. So here we go. So by tapping into your heart IQ, the Heart Math Institute has indicated several different significant levels and increases in reducing stress, okay, improving anti-aging, improving heart rate variability, building emotional resilience, okay, and then achieving peak mental performance. Again, leading with the heart, which then can often trump the brain, especially if you're having repetitive negative thoughts. And we've talked a lot about that in our other trainings about how we have somewhere near like 90% of the time, we have repetitive up to 75,000 habitual thoughts. And if those thoughts aren't serving us, just imagine how they're showing up in your life. So what if you slow down and you let your heart trump your brain? So here we go. Let's talk about fascinating facts relating to the heart, because maybe we don't think about how awesome our heart is, okay? And I oftentimes joke around in a lot of videos about how fascinating your liver is too, which we often forget and don't pay attention to, even though it circulates our blood on a good basis every 6 to 8 minutes, which is amazing. But here are 5 fascinating facts about the heart, okay? 1, functions without interruption for most people for nearly 80 years. Without them even thinking about it, getting testing on it or anything, they could live up to 80 years with their heart working properly, okay? For 70 years, it will beat 100,000 times a day, beat 40 million times a year, and have 3 billion pulsations in total within those 70 years, okay? So what else? It will pump 2 gallons of blood per minute and 100 gallons of blood an hour. It'll function through a vascular system that is nearly 60,000 miles long throughout the body. Isn't that crazy? And then each heart muscle cell contains 5 to 8,000 mitochondria. And so what I often do when I work with clients on their energy levels, so your mitochondria is noted as the powerhouse of the cell, right? But what we often miss is most of that mitochondria is found in the heart. So just imagine, like, if you are feeling fatigue, low energy, it could be related to some heart problems. And so what we often go through is not only a cardiovascular protocol, maybe to release blocked, clogged arteries. But we also focus on boosting AMPK and mitochondrial levels and the function of the mitochondria, okay? So let's just recap on why we should even care about this in the first place, okay? It's a number one cause of death and beating cardiovascular disease, okay? We can prevent blocked or clogged arteries, and I'm going to actually include below a link to a protocol to help you with unblocking or clogged arteries if that is a place that you're in right now with your health, okay? Minimize risk of poor circulation, decrease risk of high blood pressure, decrease risk of high LDL cholesterol levels, decrease risk of obesity or type 2 diabetes. Maybe that's hand in hand with insulin resistance problems, okay? Decrease the risk of shortness of breath, okay? Decrease risk of chronic fatigue and decrease symptoms of depression related to emotional stability. Again, whatever those thoughts that are racing through your head and are they serving you, how could you tap into your heart intelligence to help trump that, okay? So let's dig in. 3 powerful heart intelligence practices courtesy of the Heart Math Institute. And I've linked up the Heart Math Institute to this free guide and training as well. But let's go through the first one, freeze frame, okay? I'm going to walk through the steps of this, and I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about each step and how you do it. And then what I would encourage you to do is pause the training and try this out for yourself. Get a pen and paper if it requires that, like the bonus activity below. Otherwise, find a quiet place and try out these techniques and reflect on it, okay? Maybe even share your comments below. That would be awesome. All right, step 1 for freeze frame. You're going to recognize the stressful feeling and freeze frame it. And just imagine what that means. So like freeze frame means like take a snapshot and pause the moment. So you're going to recognize the stressful moment or feeling and you're going to pause on that, okay? Then you're going to shift your focus away from your racing mind. So nowadays, like our mind is so fragmented. We're thinking about our past, our future. We're racing through every day. And so what this requires you to do is shift your focus away from the to-dos and back on what this stressful event is. So you're going to freeze frame it and you're going to shift your focus to this particular feeling, okay? Then you're going to recall a positive time and relive it. Like, what if there's a time where yesterday you were outside with the kids? Maybe you were, if you're like me, I live in Michigan, you're slinging the kids through the snow and stuff, and it's a really fun time. Recall that and relive that moment. What you're doing is you're building up those good feelings, okay? Mentally, even visualize it. Like I just kind of give you a visualization of me personally right there, but really see that moment happening for you, okay? The next step, you're going to ask your heart for a more efficient response. So we freeze frame the stressful response. We focused our attention in. We're injecting a positive memory into the situation. And now we're going to ask our heart to give us a response, okay? And when we ask, then we're going to listen and then act upon it, okay? And so this is freeze frame. This could happen within a matter of minutes, could be 5 minutes. You could take multiple stressful events and do it, but try this out, okay? So again, recognize the stressful moment, freeze it. Shift your focus from a racing mind, get rid of all those to-do list thoughts in your mind, recall a positive thing that's happened in your life, ask your heart, even like put your hand over your heart and ask your heart, like you're talking to your heart muscle, okay? And then listen for the response. So that is freeze frame, and I've included details in the guide so that you can go through each of those steps individually. Let's talk about number 2, heart lock-in. Tap into your deepest heart to trump the racing mind with practicing entrainment, which becomes a natural state, and then focusing your energy in the area of your heart to add buoyancy and regenerative energy to your entire bodily system. So what does that mean? Okay, let's go through this 6-step approach for heart lock-in. Find a quiet place and close your eyes and relax. So again, I'm going to go through these steps, but I would encourage you to pause the training and try this out for yourself. Shift your attention away from the mind and focus your attention on your heart, okay? So pretending as if you are breathing through your heart for 15 seconds, which is amazing. Like a lot of times, if you are in tune with breathing for your body, functional breathing, it should be down through the diaphragm, not up in the chest. You're breathing east to west. Sometimes it's focusing on those breathing muscles. what I'm going to ask you to do here is breathe through the heart. If that requires you to put your hands over your heart just to feel it, feel that heart beating and really feel that, and breathe in through your heart, in through the nose, out through the nose of the mouth, thinking through your heart, okay? Number 3, recall a feeling of love and care you have for someone, or focus on a feeling of appreciation. And you're going to do this for 5 to 15 minutes. So it could be a gratitude practice. It could be thinking about a moment where somebody did something amazing for you. You're just going to sit in that realm and you're going to actually embrace and that appreciation, okay? You're going to feel the love, feel the energy, okay? Then you're going to gently send that feeling of love or care and appreciation to yourself or others. So if you're familiar with Dr. Daniel Amen talks a lot about this, but I think it's Byron Katie that came up with the original concept of love and kindness meditation, which is literally you first give kindness to yourself, then you give kindness to somebody you care about, and then you give kindness in the form of forgiveness to somebody that's causing you challenges or pain in your life. And so in this particular example, you're doing the same thing. You're tapping into that love and appreciation, and you're either going to give it to yourself or you're going to give it to somebody else. Okay? So you're locking in those emotions and you're giving it to someone, and that could be yourself. Number 5, as thoughts start to come into your head, bring the focus back to your heart, and they will. Like if you sit in meditation and you have, even if you master it, I was going to say if you haven't mastered it yet, but I would even say this, even if you've mastered it, you will always have things fly in, right? About things that you need to do in your day, or how you felt yesterday, or what you're thinking in the future. It will just continue to fly in, okay? And that's natural because the mind wanders up to 50% of your day. And so regaining focus is key here. So when those thoughts start to fly in, focus, bring your intentions back to your heart, okay? And then just feel the intensity of those moments and that softness in your heart, okay? Number 6, upon completing this practice, write down any and all feelings that you have that are innate and peaceful to remember to take action on. So again, that's where you might want to have something handy, because what we're really doing with all these exercises is, yes, you're bringing all of your value and your heart intelligence back into your body and through your heart, but you're also listening to your heart to take action. So you're waking up out of this meditation or out of this practice with a new perspective, a new intention, a new feeling, and you're letting that guide you. And so you want to make sure that you capture those moments, okay? Cut through. Number 3, facilitates emotional coherence and allows the transformation of emotions tangled up, causing you stress, to a state of peace and regeneration, okay? So as you do this, though, be mindful of emotions that shift quickly and others that linger. So what does that mean? Basically, whenever we experience something, whatever type of emotion it is, it could be something that we feel briefly and we're able to get over, or maybe we practice in the moment of how we get over that, recognize that emotion. Oh, that's an interesting emotion that I had there, and then move on. Or it's something that really digs at you, right? And it lingers. And what we're trying to do here is, through this exercise, I want you to actually notice which ones are short and which ones are long. And when they're long, give it more attention, because it also means that it's coming from a place that is near and dear to emotions, maybe from the past. It could even be generational, meaning habitually that you've kind of inherited from family, and you've kind of shown that up in your life. And so those ones might take more attention. And I'm going to actually do a training on what's called ancestral dragons. That comes from Dr. Daniel Amen. And so more on that later to come, but you're just going to sit in this moment for those ones. So here's the exercise. Number 1, be aware of how you feel about an issue at hand, okay? Number 2, focus in on the heart and the solar plexus and begin to breathe love and appreciation for 10 seconds or more and help anchor that attention in, okay? So again, be aware of how you feel. So capture your feeling in the moment, focus in on the heart, and begin to breathe again into the heart with love, okay? Assume objectivity about the feeling or issue. So this is key. What this really means is you are going to almost assume that that feeling that you had is somebody else's feeling. You're going to observe it from like this perspective of you outside of the experience, okay? And so why are you doing that? Is because you're really taking it out of your body and out of feeling, making you feel trapped in the emotion, and you're observing it as if it were somebody else's or it's a thing outside of you, okay? Next, You're going to rest in a neutral state, okay, with a mature heart. So a restful state means you're going to pause and realize everything you just did. You were aware, you focused in, you are objectively seeing that feeling. Then you're going to soak and relax in any disturbed or perplexed feelings in the compassion of the heart. And so, again, you're going to soak it in and you're just going to think through it. You're going to relax through it. You're going to not allow it to raise any stress levels. You're going to own it. I want you to feel empowered through this moment, okay? And you're going to take a step in to that feeling and just embrace it, okay? And then the next step is, what are you going to do about that, right? And so step 6, after extraction of significance from a place with a deep heart, sincerely ask your heart for guidance or insight. So in other words, you're asking again, right? So if I have my hand over my heart, I'm aware of a feeling that I had. Let's say I had an altercation with a family member or a friend. It really upset me. I'm thinking about that feeling. I'm bringing that focus into the heart. I'm thinking about that feeling, okay? I'm going to assume that thing happened outside of me. I'm going to take that anger and I'm going to set that outside of me. I'm going to visualize that anger not a part of me anymore, okay? Then I'm going to soak and relax in that feeling. And I'm going to think about that feeling. I'm going to take my time with that feeling. Why do I feel anger? Why am I having these reflection moments? Why is that person sometimes get on my nerves? What am I feeling? What am I doing? What could I do differently? I'm going to really bask in that moment, okay? Then I'm going to ask my heart, what could I do differently in this moment? Or how can I actually reflect through these feelings to make sure that I am living through these moments in a better way and I'm not holding them in. I'm not capturing these anger and aggression and I'm just holding them in for days, months, years, okay? Because often, too, we recommend that if you go through these practices yourself and you have a lot of emotional things built up, as you release them, you're doing a service to not only you, but your family, right? Because your kids are going to benefit from that from a generational perspective as well. So that is cut through. So these next 2, I'm not going to go through in depth, but here are 2 bonus practices. Assets and deficits. Make a chart of assets and deficits, and basically you're going to go through and you're going to go through great things in your life, things that are maybe viewed as not desirable outcomes in your life, and you're going to go through a series of questioning around core values, stressful, involvement, how you feel, and you're going to score that. So I encourage you to check that out. Peak mindfulness. So Dr. Amish Jha actually wrote a book called Peak Mind, and it's awesome. And it actually teaches you to retrain your focus, especially since the mind wanders for that 50% of your day. So I would encourage you to check that out, and you can go through that on your own. And so I've given you the tools here, but again, if you are feeling like you are stuck and you want to build a foundational wellness suit, it's something that I often talk about in my trainings, but we take all of our clients through what's called personalizing your wellness suit. And basically we help you build a suit of wellness to live in the rest of your life that you love, that loves you back. And it incorporates all of these foundational levels: diet, exercise, stress, toxins, recovery, emotional health, which we talked a lot about probably today, right, in this lesson, sleep, and then supplements. So if that is of curious to you, I would encourage you to check that out, including any type of like testing that you'd love to get done as well. And as always, I provide lots of links, resources, and guides. So I hope you like that intro lesson on tapping into your heart intelligence, which could then trump your brain. So take care of your heart, and I will see you in the next training.